Irene Jackson is calling racing. Irene Jackson, folks, is calling Samuel Williams a racist. Oh, man. Oh, man. All right, folks. So Irene Jackson just called Samuel Williams a racist. She pulled up to him, started yelling, shouting, and then calling him a racist. And then she says that he wasn't a racist. Yeah. So she won't debate because they already debated some few months ago. She won't answer any more questions. But then she whip snaps, and then you have problems. So, anyways, folks, that's hilarious. We'll put that up on there. But you can see how she handles herself. She's not very candidate-like.
I reminded her of her finances, remember?
Oh, she got upset, yeah.
Yeah, because she didn't file on time, a month late from filing her financial disclosure with the House committee. We have to file every year when you run. In May, you have to file your financial disclosure for that year.
Yeah.
If you're running. You know, how do you file a negative campaign report? She filed minus $89 just before the primaries.
It had nothing to show for it either.
Yeah, but who got the bad check?
Exactly.
Because that's what happened. You overdrew your account. You know, here's the thing. She's involved in the real estate industry in El Paso, and we've got a lot of good realtors out here. But from what I understand is she's tied into some of our big developers as well. And if that's the case, that's where we have the problem.
Oh, yeah. She is.
Because they're all looking at trying to, just keep bashing the people of El Paso.
Make backdoor deals, raise the taxes 3 times.
Exactly, and that's what's happened, and you don't hear that from her. The only thing you hear is it's all about the abortion issue.
Yeah.
You know, I've got 4 grandkids.
And one of her biggest donors or backers is Debbie Torres.
Right.
And so she's pro-life.
Debbie Torres has...
Pro-choice.
She is pro-choice, but she also voted twice as a Republican and then calls herself a Republican. Yet, if you look on either side of her voting record, it's blue.
Yep.
And she voted this year in 2020 in the Democratic primary.
Yep.
You know, I don't go after Irene except on what needs to be gone after and to call her out for what she's wrong.
What did she say right now when she pulled up like that?
She was yelling at me.
I know.
I don't know. They're going to post the video. Her daughter.
Yeah, her daughter was live right now.
But she started yelling at me, calling me a liar and all this stuff. The thing is, Irene, every time I put documentation with what I put out, I never put it out without documentation.
Well, for a candidate, she doesn't handle herself properly.
And why would you start a fight right here in the middle of the street like that?
But then don't approach you with other people around.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the other thing, too, was...
That's coward-like.
Why won't she debate? The reason she won't debate is because she can't stand on any of the issues.
Nope.
That's exactly what's going on right now.
A lot of people asked her today at the GOP with Alan West, when is the debate? And she freaked out on almost everybody about that.
Yep.
So it seems to me she has a personal problem.
Yeah, I don't hold any grudges against her. I'm running against her, and this is a primary, and primaries, unfortunately, are the ugliest part of any election because you're running on comparative, almost on the same platforms. Once you get to the general election, now you have the contrast in the platforms.
Yeah.
So we're going to go on personal character across the board, usually in a primary. Primaries are the dirtiest part of the election. If you don't understand that, you probably shouldn't be running for office because people are going to beat the hell out of you over it. I get it all the time, every day.
It's the way you deal with it. Some tough skin, but it looks like she doesn't have tough skin.
No, you just let it go. I mean, here's the thing.
She proved that to a lot of people today at the GOP event.
If you lose your cool in Congress when somebody's confronting you, that's going to make it out there to the news media, and they're going to beat you with it. It's just like campaigning in places that you're not supposed to, or questionable places to campaign, like 501c3s. The deal is you're giving ammunition to the Democrats to beat us up with come November.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll use it.
Well, that's why
Escobar's a savage politician, and we know that. We've seen that. She's done absolutely nothing for El Paso. in her, I don't know, 12, 14 years she's been in public office, other than raise taxes and her own salary.
Well, that's why a lot of people do believe that Irene Jackson is a rhino, just because of that.
Well, you know, if you look at her voting history here in El Paso, it's very spotty. It's all over the map. You know, it has a lot of questionable marks on that. So I voted here since 2016. You know, in 18 I voted for myself. So of course I'm going to show a weak Republican because I ran as an independent write-in, which is the only way you can run as a write-in. It's going to tag you as independent and you're as a write-in.
Well, it's interesting. She had a lot of words to exchange, but she won't go to debate. So it's like, well, if you want to talk, let's talk.
Yeah, I mean, I'll debate on the issues at any time, any place, and I've said that for months now.
She even had some reporters down here trying to ask her questions, and they wanted to record it. She said that she didn't want to be recorded unless her daughter could live stream that. So she likes to run a lot of game, it sounds like. And then it's always on her terms.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I'll debate her right here in the street. I mean,
like,
you want to get the audience out here? We'll live stream it wherever.
yeah. Well, she said she was tired before she peeled off and then pulled up on you.
Well, why'd she pull up and try to start a fight?
Well,
that's what I want to know.
That's exactly what I had to get out the camera.
You know, it's not like we're both running, and I've said that we're both running for the same position, and it is ugly right now, unfortunately. You know, this has been an ugly primary all the way from top to bottom. We know that there were Democrats placed on this ballot to keep real Republican out of office.
Mm-hmm.
Myself or Blanca Trout is the other one that had the hardest voting record as far as a Republican the entire time.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to think about that. Just because you're from somewhere doesn't mean you can see the problems. Usually, if you haven't been anywhere, you're blind to the issues, the actual issues that are affecting us. By me traveling the world and living in many different states, I see what's wrong. You know, I see it from a different perspective. And I believe we can fix it because it is a corrupt system here.
Yeah.
The corruption runs so deep. Every day we find something else out new of some type of corruption and somebody tied to somebody else that's getting money off of it.
Oh, we agree. El Paso sees that. Do you have any final thoughts for any of this?
Hey, I need your vote. Come early voting starts the 29th. It'll run through the 10th, and then on Tuesday the 14th is actual election day. We need to get as many people out to vote. You know, we have to get this voter turnout because that's one of our biggest problems in El Paso. To make things change, people have to go out and vote.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you very much, Samuel Williams. I do appreciate that. That's Samuel Williams, the 16th Congressional District candidate that we're all shooting for, most of us down here in El Paso, Texas. We had to bust out the camera because Irene Jackson just came out screaming, yelling, and hollering. So we do appreciate that, folks. Thank you.